Greens everyone, so Dance 98 back at it again with the next part of the worst to best Kamen Rider Final Form outfits. Let's get right on into it as we're at 57, I think? Yeah, I think we just got done with 58. Let's get into it.
Yes.
Next up is Next Kaiza, which only appears in Kamen Rider Phi's 20th Paradise Regained. Officially speaking, it is considered Kaiza's final form. As I said, this form was exclusive to the movie Phi's 20th Paradise Regained, and it is a nice, heavily armored look to Kaiza. I think it looks pretty cool, and I can appreciate the increased armor, but I somehow like the base form better.
I mean, fair. Yeah, it has this appeal. I'll admit that. It's a pretty decent one.
That being said, he looks like he could legit tank some damage.
True. And he does, based on what I've seen.
Next up is Kamen Rider Foze Cosmic States. This is Kamen Rider Foze's final form that is accessed from the 40th Astro Switch, known as the Cosmic Switch. In this form, Kintaro can utilize the powers of any Astro Switch that he chooses, while gaining some powerful new attacks. And yeah, it's strong and all, but I find it kind of visually underwhelming. With that being said, I really do like the powdered blue color here of his suit, but other than that, it doesn't feel very Final Formy to me, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean the suit looks more like it's just gotten an upgrade versus Final Form, so I think it's more of a Super Form look versus a Final Form look, so I can see where he goes. Maybe if they had put like some, I don't know, like maybe a decent sized jetpack on his back that was more visible or something like that, with some wings on it, maybe add something to the back for aesthetics, help complete the armored spaceship look, just, as an idea. Decade.
Next up is Dien's complete form, and this form was exclusive to Chodeno Trilogy Episode Yellow, very similar to
I was don't know about the cards I was seeing at first.
Decade's complete form. The cards featured on Kamen Rider Dien's armor are representative of characters from the Kamen Rider movies, most of which are the antagonists, but Skull is also featured here. Visually, this suit is very underwhelming, but the power that it provides is pretty cool.
True.
Next up at 54 is Lord Baron. This is an insanely strong Overlord Invis form that can easily dispatch other riders. He can even take on a mist-like state and swap between human and Overlord. He looks okay, but not like a traditional Kamen Rider. He honestly looks kind of like a Fangire, and because of that, I think I prefer some of his other forms better, visually speaking. And I think he's cool as far as story goes, but just okay in regards to design.
Yeah, I can see the reasoning behind that, but honestly, I think he's a good one, honestly. I'd say a solid good. Good, not quite pretty good, but close. Oh my.
Next up at 53 is Another Giol 2. This is a more gold version of Another Giol. He can see into the future, manipulate the past, and even spawn in another riders to fight for him. I think he looks much cooler than his base form, and a lot more like an actual Kamen Rider as well. His base form, he kind of just looks like a monster, but with Another Giol 2, he has more detailed armor and a more detailed helmet design, and I really like that he looks legit armored, like he could actually take some damage here.
True enough.
Next up is Chaser Mach. Mach combined himself with Kamen Rider Chaser to create an insanely strong punch and one of the strongest riders in Drive. He utilizes the Chaser Mach end to decimate his opponents, and visually speaking, he is a mix of Mach's upper half and Chaser's lower half.
I can see that.
To be honest with you, I find the look a little bit uninspired. Like, they literally just took a dude's upper body and another dude's lower body and just combined them together. I feel like they just could have done more to integrate the two halves, kind of like Kamen Rider Build, where they're combined kind of on a diagonal line. That being said, the story is pretty cool, he's decently powerful, and I really enjoyed watching Mach activate this form for the first time.
That, and while it looks a bit plain, like he said, a bit like half and half mixed together, it actually is not bad. Like I said, I'd give it another good rating on that one. Ooh.
Next up is Gatak's Hyperform. Now, I'm a big fan of Kagami and Gatak, and I find it pretty cool that he got his own Hyper Battle DVD with the sole purpose of him gaining a new form. Yes, this form is exclusive to the Hyper Battle DVD called Birth Gatak Hyperform. It looks cool enough, but visually it just doesn't really change much aside from the helmet, and a little bit of red on the armor. This is a strong and effective form, with increased stats and of course greater speed, but the criticism I have of Kabuto's hyperform is the same criticism that I have of Gatak's hyperform, which is that the helmet ornaments are just way too big. You know, it kind of looks like it would hurt their neck trying to keep their head up. That being said, Gatak already looks good, and he still looks pretty good in this form.
Fair enough. Oh boy.
Next up at number 50 is Arc 1, the final form of Arc 0, but also a corrupted form of 01. Not as effective as Arc Scorpion or 02, he sees a large increase to reflexes and perception time.
Fuck.
Stylistically, he's pretty decent looking, but I feel like they could have done more with the design. This feeling could be because his suit here was reused several times with other riders, so it loses points on uniqueness.
Fair enough. But as a villain, I'd say it was a good one. I think it was a good one.
Next up is Kamen Rider Axel's Trial form. With this form, Axel experiences significantly reduced armor and defenses, however he becomes much quicker with an incredibly fast arsenal of attacks. I really dig the new blue color scheme with a very sleek, motocross-inspired design, and I just think he looks so much sleeker than base Kamen Rider Axel. This shade of blue is much more dynamic than the dark burgundy of base Axel, and this form also does away with the huge engine block on the chest.
True.
And did I mention that Trial was really fast? Because he can literally dodge lightning bolts.
Dang, okay, yeah, that is pretty fast. Plus, I'm a sucker for good blue armor, so I give that one a pretty good one, honestly. Like, I don't need anything super flash, I don't need anything super detailed, just give me a solid final form that does its job well. But, yeah, actually pretty good. I'm glad they reduced the bulkiness.
Next up at 48 is G3X, a much more powerful version of G3. G3X has significantly more defenses and incredibly destructive weapon systems, including the GX05 Kerberos.
Jesus!
G3X is the closest thing that we're going to get in Kamen Rider to RoboCop. He's not anything insane looking, but if you like the way that G3 looks, well, G3X is just a natural evolution of that look, with more armor as well as bells and whistles. And this guy looks like he could legit tank some damage in real life.
That, and he's got some heavy-duty firepower with the minigun rifle.
Which I appreciate, given his style and story. Next up is Kamen Rider 02, and this of course is Kamen Rider 01's primary final form.
Yep.
It was created from Aruto sending Is into mini simulations so she would reach singularity to create the 02 driver and progress key. He's so fast that it appears like he's teleporting, and of course this form is what allowed Aruto to defeat Kamen Rider Arc.
Well, there we go.
Visually speaking, he pretty much looks like 01, and I think that's my biggest problem with this form. Kamen Rider 01 is a show with a lot of crazy looking forms, including Aruto's own forms, like Shining Hopper and Metal Cluster Hopper. And coming from those forms to this one that looks like base 01 with a little bit of red added, it just feels like a bit of a step down, visually speaking.
Fair.
Next up is Ryugen's Yomotsu Heguri arms, which is an upgraded version of Budo arms that gives Mitsuzane the ability to wield any of the Overlord weapons. This was a pretty short-lived
I think it gives him some immense pain on that
form, but I think it's pretty cool. We have a nice, unique dark red coloring with some gold accents, and Budo becoming dark red just makes me think of wine. Like, I pretty much just think of this dude as the wine rider.
That's fair.
Next up is Cronus's Gamadeus Cronus. After fusing with Gamadeus, Cronus gains access to all Bugster attacks, while still retaining the time manipulation abilities that Cronus is known for. This was a very powerful form, and it was even shown that he could go toe-to-toe with multiple high-level riders simultaneously. He uses a shield called Deus Rampart that can stretch out like a tentacle and even shoot lightning, and he also utilizes a powerful finisher called the Critical Crusade. Visually speaking, I would say he looks okay. He's got a lot of gold on his suit, but I feel like most of the colors here are kind of washed out, and I think they could have been more saturated and dynamic, especially the red. To be honest, I think I just like regular Cronus a lot better in terms of looks.
I mean, that's a valid judgment there. Alright, so we'll end it there. We're already on number 45. Dang, where did all the numbers go? But, hope you guys enjoyed this. I certainly did. Looking forward to seeing more of it, and you guys go ahead and let me know with likes, comments, description, all that stuff. You know, subscribe if you want, if you want to, and help grow the channel. Every little bit helps out. Everything will help us out going forward, and I'm looking forward to seeing what we can enjoy more of after this Kamen Rider video. You guys take care. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.